Exercise number 137. In this age, when we have such unsympathetic remarks about the decadence of sport, it is very satisfactory to find so many Englishmen taking a fairly sympathetic interest in the university boat race, the premier English sporting event, and it is questionable whether any other event in the pastimes of the world touches so universally the great heart of the public in England and abroad. Full stop. All classes of society take a very keen interest in the race before the day of the event, and it is this universally that unquestionably shows that the race is associated with nothing objectionable. Full stop. The same cannot be said of some other forms of sport which contain the minimum of sport really but the maximum of elements which are undesirable. Full stop. An investigation would frequently prove the utter falsification of the meaning of the word sport. Full stop. If the newspaper is an index of public interest, then surely all must acknowledge that the training of the two crews is a matter of interest to Englishmen throughout the universe. Full stop. At this time, men discuss with knowledge the merits or demerits of various forms of diet, and with an intelligence which all intelligent people should accept as an acknowledgement of the extreme interest taken in the various doctrines advocated by poor reformers. Full stop. Exercise number 138. One who arbitrates is called an arbitrator, and there is a growing tendency to submit all disputes to arbitration by a third party. Full stop. Such decision would frequently save the disputants from being arbitrary and harsh towards one another, whereinsoever amends may be made. Full stop. It is thought by some that a universal language would foster the spirit of arbitration throughout the universe, but as yet attempts made to formulate such a method of intercommunication have not been very satisfactory. Full stop. There can be no doubt that telegraphic communication, by telegram and wireless work for the cause of peace. Full stop. Para. The investigation by the parliamentary committee was universally acknowledged to be justified, and although the falsification of the reports was established, there were many unsympathetic remarks reflecting adversely on the supposed failing of members of the legislature by influential and uninfluential newspapers. Full stop. All Englishmen, however, should be proud of the legislative bodies of England and should be sympathetic towards all endeavours to effect any intelligent progressive reforms. Full stop. Exercise number 139. The day of the university boat race is the first outdoor spring holiday, and though the weather may be unsatisfactory, the crowd on the river and two-path is an immense and motley one. Full stop. Here we have the parliamentary hand, the insurance broker, the compiler of prospectuses and amalgamation schemes, the arbitrator engaged in arbitration cases, members of the legislature who have turned their backs on legislative matters for a short time, the administrator and the administratrix. There we have ladies in the height of fashion, full of enthusiasm for the success of their favorite, the mischievous errand boys with their baskets over their shoulders, whose mischief is excusable for once, indeed, all sorts and conditions of influential and uninfluential persons, each of whom has probably decided his or her choice in a most arbitrary manner. Full stop. The newspaper reporter is there with his pencil and book, jotting down any matters of moment in the characters which delight the hearts of all Pitmanites. Full stop. The results of the race is sent by telegraphic communication, both telegram and cable to all parts of the globe. Full stop. Undoubtedly, people think more of the manner of winning than of the prize at stake, and thus the boat race exemplifies the saying of the most lovable of all Scotsmen, Robert Stevens, who wrote, "Our business in this world is not to succeed but to continue to fail in good spirits." Full stop. Here we have a splendid motto to remember in our everyday life and in our pastimes. Full stop. Exercise number 140. At a quarterly gathering of our scientific society, the university lecturer said an intelligible reason could be given for his theory of economics, but the universality of its acceptance by economists was not to be expected in our present state of knowledge. On a future occasion, he is to lecture on the subject of minimum wage for workers. For staff, he is acknowledged to be a capable economist and a most excellent lecturer and writer on the subject, for which his name is famous. For staff, para the prospectus which you forwarded yesterday in acknowledgement of mine of last Monday, is unquestionably very unsatisfactory. Howsoever it may be considered. For staff, the amalgamation of two such prodigious concerns is very undesirable, and the intelligence of prospective insurers should warn them of the disadvantages of insuring under their tables. For staff, in our company, the minimum period for such a policy of insurance is 15 years, and it is questionable if you can secure better terms through any other English office. For staff, from the enclosed cutting, you will find that the administrator and administratrix whom you mentioned, were punished for fraud in connection with the estate. For staff. Exercise number 141. The introduction of new methods of locomotion has considerably widened the field of the newspaper and added further variety to the editor's duties. For staff, among the most popular modes of traveling is that of motoring, the development of which has been very remarkable indeed. For staff, newspapers have consequently enlarged the scope of their contents and given circumstantial accounts of anything and everything of importance associated with motor and motoring. For staff, there are also periodicals devoted altogether to the interest of motorists. For staff, interested parties organize motor shows at which everything in the way of accessories from incandescent lights, to the most insignificant that nevertheless necessary, parts are exhibited, each and everyone claiming to have certain distinctive features. For staff, the multiplicity of motors, both public and private, is a source of danger to the general public, for some motorists are unprincipled enough to be reckless in their driving. For staff, such unlawful acts give offense, and can cause great alarm and inconvenience to those passing along our streets. For staff, therefore, it is urged that those in authority should seek an enlargement of their powers to check excessive speed whenever motors travel through the busy thoroughfares of our cities and towns, and to inflict severer punishments on all who transgress or attempt to transgress the letter of the law. For staff. Exercise number 142. Dear sir, my committee have considered your communication of the 12th installment for staff, drawing attention to several matters relating to the denomination national schools in your district for staff. The enlargement of the Cross Street schools receives special consideration, and my committee are of the opinion that something should be done immediately in this direction for staff. To enlarge them again as they were enlarged 10 years ago seems to be necessary, and it is hoped to commence building operations during the coming summer, and to save time, my committee purpose giving the contract to the original builder of the schools for staff. As the whole of the lighting of the schools requires overhauling, my committee have arranged for a report on the matter, and as the incandescence of the mantles in the offices here is very satisfactory, it is probable that similar incandescent lights will be fitted throughout for staff. Notwithstanding your remarks, my committee think there will be no unfares to the voluntary schools of the district owing to the recent circular coming into force in the autumn, and are of the opinion that nothing should be done to hinder its working for staff. Your story. Exercise number 143. Some say motorists should show more consideration and give attention to matters which concern the life and death of the frequenters of our roads for staff. Though the difficulties are great, they are not irremovable, and motorists themselves can do a great deal to make them removable for staff. Often too we hear complaints by denominational bodies that weekend motoring is injurious to the cause of religion in general, and there would be a general rejoicing among the churches if something could be done to convince people of their folly in spending their weekends motoring along the countryside for staff. In our remark respecting the onward march of civilization, it is well to consider all things together, and what brings misfortune to the few may carry with it great blessing for the majority of mankind. Notwithstanding this, however, there does appear to be a wanton heedlessness of those things which were very real and dear to the hearts of our forefathers for staff. Exercise 144. Dear sir, I thank you for your circumstantial account of the centenary celebration in your town, the reporting and sending of which show much consideration on your part for staff. Whenever I can help you in similar circumstances, I shall be only too pleased to do so for staff. It is remarkable that such an insignificant matter as the one you mentioned should give offense in newspaper circles for staff. One would have thought that its very insignificance would have been sufficient to ensure its acceptance for staff. Certainly, it is difficult to understand how anything of the kind could be described as unprincipled and unmannerly for staff. It is a misfortune that such a quibble should be raised, and I hope that everything will be done to save any inconvenience to those interested in the path for staff. Nevertheless, I do not think the cause is irremovable, but rather altogether removable, and I shall be thankful whether it is done to bring the parties together again. Yours truly, full stop. Exercise number 145. I am very glad to inform you that our business has turned out very satisfactorily indeed during the past year, notwithstanding that much has militated against our progress for staff. Before dealing with the figures in the accounts, I think it is necessary for me to recall to your minds what I said at our last meeting for staff. You will probably remember these were On this occasion, we have to meet an adverse balance, and it is deemed necessary to take immediate steps to improve our position for staff. At the beginning of the year, we brought forward a substantial amount, and now we are faced with a deficit full stop. I am persuaded, however, that we could not have done better owing to the peculiar circumstances which were in operation during the year. For stop, those who were present at the meeting in all probability remember the statement on this matter in the report. For stop, it was felt that by some means we must regain our position, and therefore every circumstances likely to have affected the profitable working of the company was considered, and the result reflects great credit on all those who are concerned in the reorganization, and I think that you are satisfied in this respect. For staff. Exercise number 146. Dear sir, I am very glad to notice that by some means you are hoping to have the new proposal brought forward at the next meeting of the directors, and I am persuaded that in the meantime you should not discuss the matter with anyone, because it is necessary to be very cautious in all circumstances, as on this occasion. For staff, you will be probably do what can be done to make the case complete. For staff, so that we may have every circumstance detailed that is in our favor. For staff, I think that you are aware of the importance of having ready a definite scheme of if we would be successful, but as the matter is of such vital importance to us, I take the liberty of emphasizing the point. For staff, awaiting your reply. We are yours truly. For staff. Exercise number 147. Turning to the accounts for the year now under review, I think you will agree with me that we have done exceedingly well. For staff. On the credit side of the trading account, you will find that the business done shows an increase of £20,000. For staff, on the other side, we show an increase of working expenses, but the increase is not heavy and furnishes us with an example of the fact that the better the business we do, the lower is the ratio of expenses. For staff, on the asset side of the balance sheet, the property account items is the same as before, while the cash shows an increase of £12,000. For staff, on the liabilities side of the balance sheet, the cost of renovation has been charged to the reserve accounts, and I think you will quite agree with this. Our dividends for the past 5 years have averaged 10% per annum. For staff, early in the coming year there will be a special meeting to discuss the matter of further developments, and I take the liberty of urging all to be present. For staff, in the meantime, I trust we shall continue to prosper so that we may have a substantial increase in our profits. For staff. Exercise 148. Dear sir, I am certain that you are not fully conversant with the matter, or you would not urge those who were present on these occasions to bring the question to the notice of the meeting. On either side, there are those who are always ready to hurry business as fast as they can, notwithstanding that there is no advantage gained by unnecessary haste. For staff, by and by I am inclined to think that you will agree with me on this matter, and then you will regret that you unduly hastened the passing of the rules with which we are now dealing. For staff, your story. For staff.